Have you ever thought about how many people fought in the Vietnam War? My grandpa was one of them. His name is Henry William Hoffman. He was born on August 16th, 1947. He was born in a small, quiet Hoffman's Oak Lake campground and lived there until he was 18 years old. Then he left to go work at what they call the wood conversion, where they actually converted wood and put them in ceilings. When he was younger, he had a soft dog named Penny. She was a really good girl that was trained very well. When Henry and his younger sister Clarice would take Penny out, he would always love throwing rocks in the dirty water because Penny would go and dive down to go retrieve the rocks. But sometimes she got a little smelly from the water. Penny also never growled or did anything to make her owners mad. My grandpa chose vanilla ice cream as his favorite cold food because when he was younger, his parents didn't care what him and his sister had to eat. His somewhat lovable parents were the type of parents that a lot of people would love because they would let you do anything without getting in trouble or even noticing sometimes. If he had to pick what his favorite memory was, he said marrying Norma, my grandma, was his proudest moment and favorite memory. I look up to my grandpa because when he was younger, his dad would abuse his mom and he would hear them yelling at each other, and he would see his dad hit her sometimes. He grew up living in a small camper. Then he started helping his grandpa Henry Charles Hoffman with the campground. Now he owns the Hoffman's Oak Lake campground, and back then there were only 4 campers that stayed at the Hoffman's Oak Lake. The campground was started by Henry's great-grandfather, Henry Charles Hoffman, in 1930. Henry William Hoffman got drafted to be in the U.S. Army because he went to college for highway technology. When he got there, he discovered that they trained him to be a pole lineman. During the time he was in the Army, he married Norma when he was 19 years old and she was 20 years old, and they lived in Fort Gordon, Georgia. Then he got sent to the Vietnam War, and then almost a year after they got married, Alan came along in 1968, my dad. That was all happening when he was in Vietnam. My grandpa kept on building to the somewhat busy campground so more people could camp and stay there. In 1972, Dan, my uncle, was born, and in 1976, Diane, my aunt, was born. I came from nothing to everything I ever wanted, he said as we were playing a game. When he got back from the U.S. Army, he was excited to go work at the Loud wood conversion, but at that time it was named Conwood, only for a year. Then he went to school to go be a highway technologist. During that time, he took a job working for Newbert Swanson, and he worked for him on and off for a few years. Then he decided to go work for Diamond Tool and Horseshoe Company. He worked on building wrenches and pliers. He did that for 9 years until 1980. During the time he worked at Diamond Tool and Horseshoe Company, he bought the campground in 1969. When he bought the small campground, he decided that in 1980 to make the campground their living. In 1992, Alan came back to work with my grandpa. About the same time, Henry decided to start selling new and old RVs. Then they kept on growing and they hired Bill Spalding, my dad's best friend, to help with the busy campground. In 1993, they purchased the property where I live now, which is called Oak Lake 2. They put more campsites in, and then in 2012 they bought the other property across the large lake, which is called Oak Hill. The entire campground has 208 fresh water. Then in 2016, they decided to expand their business and buy an abandoned building in Moose Lake, formerly known as the Superior Auto Auction. Now we call it Oak Lake RV.